Have you ever felt stuck, like life just isn't going your way? Well, get ready for a game changer. Today, we're diving into the world of Louise Hay, a woman who's helped millions transform their lives. Her advice isn't just talk, it's a powerful tool that can turn your life around. Imagine waking up every day feeling happy, strong, and ready to take on the world. That's what Louise Hay's wisdom can do for you. Her 5 essential tips aren't just nice ideas. They're keys to unlock a better, brighter you. Now, you might be thinking, who's Louise Hay, and why should I care? Let me tell you, Louise Hay isn't just any self-help guru. She's a pioneer who's been changing lives for decades. Her books have sold millions of copies worldwide, and her teachings have touched people from all walks of life. What makes her special? It's simple. Her ideas work. They're not complicated or hard to follow. They're straightforward, practical tips that anyone can use to improve their life, starting right now. In this video, we're going to unpack 5 of Louise Hay's most powerful tips for living a better life. These aren't just random pieces of advice. They're tried and tested methods that have helped countless people turn their lives around. The best part? You don't need any special skills or knowledge to use them. All you need is an open mind and a willingness to try something new. So, what can you expect from these tips? Well, get ready to learn how to love yourself more, how to change your thoughts to change your life, and how to create the reality you've always dreamed of. These aren't just empty promises. They're real, actionable steps that can lead to big changes in your life. Whether you're dealing with stress, looking to improve your relationships, or just want to feel happier every day, Louise Hay's wisdom has something for you. Let's kick things off with Louise Hay's first essential tip, the power of positive thinking. Now, I know what you're thinking. Positive thinking? That's it. But hold on, because this isn't just about slapping a smile on your face and hoping for the best. Louise Hay's take on positive thinking goes much deeper than that. So, what exactly does Louise mean by positive thinking? It's all about the words you use and the thoughts you choose to focus on. Louise believed that our thoughts create our reality. It's like we're walking around with a magic wand all day, casting spells on our lives without even realizing it. The catch? These spells can be good or bad, depending on what we're thinking. Here's how it works. When you think positive thoughts, you're more likely to take positive actions. And when you take positive actions, you're more likely to get positive results. It's a simple cycle, but it can have a huge impact on your life. For example, if you wake up thinking, today is going to be a great day, you're more likely to notice good things happening around you. You might smile more, be kinder to others, or feel more motivated to tackle your to-do list. All of these small actions can add up to make your day genuinely better. But Louise Hay takes this idea even further. She suggests that our thoughts can actually affect our physical health. It might sound far-fetched, but there's science to back it up. Studies have shown that positive thinking can boost your immune system, lower stress levels, and even help you live longer. So when Louise says that changing your thoughts can change your life, she's not just talking about feeling happier. She's talking about a total transformation, inside and out. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Louise Hay has a simple but powerful exercise for this. She recommends starting your day by looking in the mirror and saying, I love and approve of myself. It might feel silly at first, but stick with it. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes, and the more you'll start to believe it. But positive thinking isn't just about saying nice things to yourself. It's also about catching negative thoughts when they pop up and turning them around. Let's say you make a mistake at work. Your first thought might be, I'm so stupid. I can't do anything right. Louise Hay would encourage you to pause and rephrase that thought. Try something like, I'm learning and growing every day. This mistake is just another opportunity to improve. It's important to understand that positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about approaching challenges with a can-do attitude. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, I can't do it, try, this is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out. It's a small shift in words, but it can make a big difference in how you handle difficult situations. Louise Hay also emphasizes the importance of gratitude in positive thinking. She suggests ending each day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a delicious cup of coffee, a chat with a friend, or a beautiful sunset. The point is to train your mind to focus on the good things in your life, no matter how small they might seem. Remember, changing your thought patterns takes time and practice. You've probably spent years thinking in certain ways, so don't expect a change overnight. Be patient with yourself and keep at it. Even if you don't believe the positive thoughts at first, say them anyway. As Louise Hay often said, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Now, let's move on to Louise Hay's second essential tip, the mirror work. This might sound a bit strange at first, but stick with me, because this practice has the power to completely transform how you see yourself. So, what exactly is mirror work? It's pretty simple, really. You stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and talk to yourself. But here's the catch. You have to say nice things. Sounds easy, right? Well, for many of us, it's actually pretty challenging. We're often our own worst critics, and the idea of saying kind things to ourselves can feel uncomfortable or even silly. But Louise Hay believed that mirror work was one of the most powerful tools for developing self-love and acceptance. She often said, "The mirror reflects back to you the feelings you have about yourself. It makes you immediately aware of where you are resisting and where you are open and flowing." In other words, the mirror shows us the truth about how we really feel about ourselves. Here's how to do mirror work, Louise Hay style. Start by standing in front of a mirror. Look yourself in the eye and say, "I love and accept you, exactly as you are." Now, pay attention to how you feel when you say this. Do you believe it? Does it make you uncomfortable? Do you want to look away? Your reaction can tell you a lot about your relationship with yourself. If you find it hard to say nice things to yourself, you're not alone. Many people struggle with this at first. Louise Hay suggested starting small. If "I love you" feels like too big a leap, try something simpler like, "I'm willing to learn to love you." Or you could focus on specific things. "I love your smile," or "I appreciate how hard you work." The key is to do this regularly. Louise Hay recommended doing mirror work every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Over time, it becomes easier. You might find yourself believing the positive things you say. You might start to notice and appreciate things about yourself that you never did before. But mirror work isn't just about saying nice things. It's also about forgiveness and letting go of negative beliefs. Louise Hay encouraged people to use the mirror to forgive themselves for past mistakes. You might say something like, "I forgive you for a specific thing. I release that now. I'm free." This can be a powerful way to let go of guilt and shame that you might have been carrying around. Mirror work can also be used to challenge negative beliefs you have about yourself. For example, if you often think, "I'm not good enough," you can use the mirror to confront this belief. Look yourself in the eye and say, "You are good enough. You are worthy. You deserve good things." Even if you don't believe it at first, keep saying it. Remember, you're trying to create new neural pathways in your brain, and that takes repetition. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds kind of weird. Will it really make a difference? The answer is yes, it can. Many people who practice mirror work report feeling more confident, more self-accepting, and more at peace with themselves. It's like building a better relationship with yourself, one kind word at a time. But here's the thing, mirror work isn't always easy. In fact, it can be downright uncomfortable at first. You might feel silly, or you might find that looking at yourself brings up difficult emotions. That's okay. Louise Hay always emphasized the importance of being gentle with yourself. If you find mirror work challenging, start small. Maybe just look at yourself and smile at first, then work up to saying one nice thing. Remember, there's no rush. This is about developing a loving relationship with yourself, and that takes time. One of the great things about mirror work is that you can adapt it to fit your needs. Some people like to do it first thing in the morning to start their day on a positive note. Others prefer to do it at night, perhaps combining it with gratitude practice. You might want to say your affirmations out loud, or you might prefer to think them silently. The important thing is to find a way that works for you, and to do it regularly. Louise Hay also suggested using mirror work to support specific goals. For example, if you're trying to improve your health, you might look in the mirror and say, "I'm taking good care of my body. I'm getting healthier every day." If you're working on a career goal, you might say, "I'm capable and confident in my work. I deserve success." The mirror becomes a tool for reinforcing positive beliefs about yourself and your abilities. Remember, the goal of mirror work isn't to become conceited or to ignore your flaws. It's about developing a kind, loving relationship with yourself. It's about learning to be your own best friend, your own cheerleader. Because when you truly love and accept yourself, you're in a much better position to handle life's challenges and to create the life you want. Moving on to Louise Hay's third essential tip, let's talk about the power of affirmations. Now, you might have heard of affirmations before, but Louise Hay took this concept to a whole new level. She believed that affirmations were one of the most powerful tools we have for changing our lives. So, what exactly are affirmations? Simply put, they're positive statements that you repeat to yourself. But they're not just any statements. They're carefully crafted phrases designed to help you overcome negative thoughts and beliefs. Louise Hay described affirmations as planting seeds in your mind. With enough repetition, these seeds grow into new, positive beliefs that can change your life. Here's the basic idea behind affirmations. The thoughts you think and the words you say create your experiences. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," you're likely to act in ways that reinforce that belief. You might avoid challenges or give up easily because deep down, you don't believe you can succeed. But if you start telling yourself, "I am capable and confident," you're more likely to take on challenges and persist when things get tough. Louise Hay recommended creating affirmations that are personal and meaningful to you. They should be in the present tense, as if what you're affirming is already true. For example, instead of saying, "I will be happy," you'd say, "I am happy." This might feel strange at first, especially if it doesn't match your current reality. But remember, you're not describing what is, you're creating what will be. I love and approve of myself. I am willing to change and grow. Every experience in my life is an opportunity to learn and grow. I am safe and all is well in my world. I choose to think thoughts that make me feel good. Now, you might be thinking, can simply repeating these phrases really make a difference? The answer is yes, but it takes time and consistency. Think of it like exercise for your mind. Just as you need to work out regularly to build physical strength, you need to use affirmations regularly to build mental and emotional strength. Louise Hay suggested saying affirmations several times a day. You might start your morning by looking in the mirror and saying your affirmations. You could write them down in a journal or put them on sticky notes around your house. Some people like to record themselves saying their affirmations and listen to the recording while they're doing other tasks. But here's the key. It's not just about mindlessly repeating words. It's about really feeling the truth of what you're saying. Louise Hay encouraged people to put emotion and belief behind their affirmations. Even if you don't fully believe it at first, act as if you do. The more you say it, the more real it becomes. Now, let's talk about how to create your own affirmations. Louise Hay suggested starting by identifying negative thoughts or beliefs you have about yourself. Maybe you often think, "I'm not smart enough," or "I'll never find love." Once you've identified these negative thoughts, create affirmations that directly counter them. So, "I'm not smart enough" becomes, "I am intelligent and capable of learning anything I set my mind to." "I'll never find love" becomes, "I am worthy of love and attract loving relationships into my life." It's important to make your affirmations believable. If the gap between your current belief and your affirmation is too big, your mind might reject it. For example, if you're struggling financially, an affirmation like, "I am a millionaire," might feel too far-fetched. Instead, you might start with something like, "I am open to new opportunities to improve my financial situation." As your beliefs start to shift, you can gradually make your affirmations more ambitious. Louise Hay also emphasized the importance of using affirmations for self-love and self-acceptance. She believed that many of our problems stem from a lack of self-love, so affirmations like, "I love and approve of myself," were central to her teachings. Even if you don't believe it at first, keep saying it. Over time, it can help to dissolve negative self-talk and boost your self-esteem. But affirmations aren't just for overcoming negative thoughts. They can also be used to support specific goals. If you're trying to improve your health, you might use affirmations like, I make choices that nourish my body and mind. If you're working towards a career goal, you might say, I am confident and successful in my work. The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and support the changes you want to make in your life. Now, it's important to understand that affirmations aren't magic. They won't instantly solve all your problems or make your dreams come true overnight. What they do is gradually shift your mindset, making you more open to positive changes and opportunities. They help you build confidence and resilience, which in turn helps you take actions that lead to real changes in your life. Some people find that when they start using affirmations, negative thoughts actually seem to get louder at first. This is normal. It's like your old beliefs are putting up a fight. Louise Hay encouraged people to be gentle with themselves during this process. If you find yourself resisting an affirmation, you might add, I am willing to, or I am in the process of, to the beginning. So, I am confident becomes, I am willing to become more confident, or I am in the process of building my confidence. Remember, the goal of affirmations is not to deny reality or pretend that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on positive possibilities rather than dwelling on negative thoughts. It's about training your mind to support you rather than sabotage you. As Louise Hay often said, you have the power to heal your life, and you need to know that. Using affirmations consistently can lead to profound changes in how you think and feel. Many people report feeling more confident, more positive, and more in control of their lives. They find themselves naturally thinking more positively and acting in ways that support their goals and well-being. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of affirmations is that they put you in the driver's seat of your own mind. Instead of being at the mercy of negative thoughts and beliefs, you're actively choosing what to think. You're taking control of your internal dialogue and using it to create the life you want. Let's dive into Louise Hay's fourth essential tip, the mind-body connection. This idea might sound a bit out there at first, but stick with me, because it's a powerful concept that could change the way you think about your health. Louise Hay believed that our thoughts and feelings can have a big impact on our physical health. She often said, what we think about ourselves becomes the truth for us. This doesn't mean that negative thoughts directly cause illness, but rather that our mental state can affect our overall well-being. So how does this work? Well, think about how your body reacts when you're stressed. Your muscles might tense up, your heart might race, and you might get a headache. That's a clear example of how your thoughts and feelings can affect your body. Louise Hay took this idea further, suggesting that long-term negative thought patterns might contribute to more serious health issues. Now, it's important to note that Louise Hay never suggested ignoring medical advice or replacing traditional treatments with positive thinking. Instead, she saw the mind-body connection as a complementary approach to health. The idea is to use the power of your mind to support your body's natural healing abilities. One of Louise Hay's key teachings in this area was the concept of listening to your body. She encouraged people to pay attention to their physical symptoms and consider what emotional issues might be connected to them. For example, she believed that problems with the throat might be related to difficulty expressing oneself, while lower back pain might be connected to financial worries. Louise Hay created a list of common ailments and their possible emotional causes, along with affirmations to help address these issues. For instance, for headaches, she suggested the affirmation, I love and approve of myself. I see myself and what I do with eyes of love. I am safe. Now, you might be thinking, can saying an affirmation really help with a headache? Well, while it's not a replacement for proper medical care, many people have found that addressing emotional issues can help alleviate physical symptoms. At the very least, it can help reduce stress, which we know can have a positive impact on overall health. Louise Hay also emphasized the importance of self-love and healing. She believed that many health issues stemmed from a lack of self-acceptance and self-love. That's why many of her healing affirmations start with, I love and approve of myself. The idea is that when we truly love and accept ourselves, we're more likely to take good care of our bodies. One practical way to apply this principle is to practice what Louise called body love. This involves appreciating and thanking your body for all it does for you. Instead of criticizing your body for its imperfections, try thanking it for its strength and resilience. You might say something like, "Thank you, legs, for carrying me through my day," or "Thank you, heart, for beating steadily and keeping me alive." Remember, the goal here isn't to replace medical treatment, but to support your overall health and well-being. By cultivating a positive mindset and a loving relationship with your body, you're creating an internal environment that supports healing and health. Now, let's move on to Louise Hay's fifth essential tip, the power of forgiveness. This might be one of the most challenging practices, but it's also one of the most transformative. When Louise Hay talked about forgiveness, she wasn't just talking about forgiving others. She emphasized the importance of forgiving ourselves too. In fact, she often said that forgiving ourselves is the first step towards forgiving others. So, what exactly did Louise mean by forgiveness? She saw it as a way of letting go of negative emotions that are hurting us. It's not about condoning harmful actions or pretending that nothing bad happened. Instead, it's about freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment and anger. Louise Hay believed that holding on to anger and resentment can be toxic to our mental and physical health. She often said, resentment, criticism, and guilt are the most damaging patterns. When we hold on to these feelings, we're the ones who suffer. The person we're angry with might not even know or care, but we're carrying that heavy emotional load every day. So how do we practice forgiveness? Louise Hay suggested starting with small things. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic, or a friend forgot your birthday. Try saying to yourself, "I forgive you. I release this situation. I'm free." You might not feel it right away, but with practice, it becomes easier. For bigger issues, Louise recommended a forgiveness exercise. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and imagine the person you need to forgive standing in front of you. Tell them how they hurt you and how it made you feel. Then, imagine them asking for your forgiveness. Finally, tell them that you forgive them and release them with love. Now, this might sound difficult, especially if someone has hurt you deeply. Louise Hay emphasized that forgiveness is something you do for yourself, not for the other person. You're not saying that what they did was okay. You're saying that you're no longer willing to carry the pain of it with you. Louise also stressed the importance of self-forgiveness. Many of us are harder on ourselves than we are on anyone else. We hold on to guilt and shame for past mistakes, beating ourselves up over things we can't change. Louise suggested looking in the mirror and saying, "I forgive you. I release you. I love you." Again, it might feel awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes powerful. Remember, forgiveness is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, especially for deep hurts. Be patient with yourself. As Louise often said, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Now that we've covered Louise Hay's 5 essential tips, let's talk about how to put them into practice in your daily life. Remember, these aren't just nice ideas, they're tools for transformation. But like any tool, they work best when you use them regularly. First, start your day with positive affirmations. When you wake up, before you even get out of bed, say something positive to yourself. It could be as simple as, "Today is going to be a good day," or "I am worthy of love and respect." This sets a positive tone for your day right from the start. Next, incorporate mirror work into your daily routine. It doesn't have to take long, even a minute or two can make a difference. While you're brushing your teeth or doing your hair, look yourself in the eye and say something kind. Remember, the goal is to build a loving relationship with yourself. Throughout your day, pay attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and reframe that thought. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I can't do this," try changing it to, "This is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out." It might feel forced at first, but with practice, it becomes more natural. When it comes to the mind-body connection, try to tune into your body more often. Take a few deep breaths and do a quick body scan. Notice any areas of tension or discomfort. Instead of getting frustrated with these sensations, approach them with curiosity and compassion. You might ask, what is my body trying to tell me? Practice forgiveness daily, even for small things. When someone annoys you or disappoints you, try saying to yourself, I forgive you. I release this. This doesn't mean you have to like what happened, but it helps you let go of negative emotions that might otherwise build up over time. Finally, end your day with gratitude. Before you go to sleep, think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a delicious meal, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunset. This helps train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself as you incorporate these practices into your life. As Louise Hay often said, you've spent years thinking in certain ways. You're not going to change overnight, but you can begin right now. The key is consistency. Even if you only spend a few minutes a day on these practices, doing them regularly can lead to significant changes over time. You might start to notice that you feel more positive, more confident, and more at peace with yourself and your life. And here's the beautiful thing. As you change your inner world, you'll likely notice changes in your outer world too. You might find that your relationships improve, that you handle stress better, or that new opportunities seem to come your way. This is what Louise Hay meant when she said that changing your thoughts can change your life. Remember, this journey is about progress, not perfection. There will be days when it's harder to maintain a positive mindset, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep coming back to these practices, to keep choosing love and positivity, even when it's challenging. As you continue on this journey, be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Every positive thought, every moment of self-love, every act of forgiveness is a step towards the life you want to create. Louise Hay's teachings have helped millions of people around the world to live happier, healthier lives. By applying these principles in your own life, you're joining a global community of people who are choosing to live with more love, more positivity, and more personal power. So, are you ready to start this journey? Remember, as Louise Hay often said, you have the power to heal your life, and you need to know that. Your thoughts create your reality, and you have the power to choose your thoughts. With these tools, you can start creating the life you truly want, one positive thought at a time. Let me share a personal story about how Louise Hay's teachings changed my life. A few years ago, I was in a pretty tough spot. I just lost my job, my relationship had ended, and I was feeling pretty down on myself. It seemed like everything was going wrong, and I couldn't see a way out. That's when I stumbled across one of Louise Hay's books in a secondhand bookstore. I remember picking it up and reading the first few pages, feeling skeptical but also desperate for something, anything, that might help me feel better. At first, the ideas seemed too simple. Positive thinking? Affirmations? Looking in the mirror and saying nice things to myself? It all sounded a bit silly, but I was at a point where I figured I had nothing to lose, so I decided to give it a try. I started small, with just one affirmation: I am worthy of love and respect. I'd say it to myself in the mirror every morning, even though I felt ridiculous and didn't believe it at all. But you know what? After a few weeks, something started to shift. I noticed I was standing a little taller, speaking up for myself more at job interviews, and even feeling more confident in social situations. Then I started practicing forgiveness, which was really hard at first. I had a lot of anger towards my ex and my former boss. But as I worked through Louise's forgiveness exercises, I started to feel lighter. It was like I was putting down heavy bags I didn't even realize I'd been carrying. The mind-body connection was a big one for me too. I'd always had trouble with stress-related stomach aches, and they'd gotten worse with all the upheaval in my life. But as I started to change my thought patterns and practice self-love, I noticed the stomach aches becoming less frequent. Now, I'm not saying Louise Hay's teachings magically solved all my problems. I still had to put in the work to find a new job and heal from my breakup. But they gave me tools to approach these challenges with a more positive mindset. They helped me believe in myself again. Today, my life looks very different. I have a job I love, I'm in a healthy relationship, and most importantly, I have a much better relationship with myself. I still use Louise Hay's techniques every day. They've become as much a part of my routine as brushing my teeth. I'm sharing this story because I want you to know that these principles really can make a difference. It might not happen overnight, and it might feel awkward or silly at first, but if you stick with it, you might be amazed at the changes you see in your life. Now, let's take a moment to recap the 5 essential tips we've learned from Louise Hay. The power of positive thinking. Your thoughts shape your reality, so choose them wisely. Mirror work. Use the mirror as a tool for self-love and acceptance. Affirmations. Use positive statements to rewire your brain for success. The mind-body connection. Understand how your thoughts and emotions can affect your physical health. The power of forgiveness. Let go of resentment and anger to free yourself. These might seem like simple ideas, but don't underestimate their power. Each of these practices has the potential to create real, lasting change in your life. The key is to actually use them. It's not enough to just know about these principles. You need to put them into practice. So here's my encouragement to you. Start small. Choose one of these tips that resonates with you and commit to practicing it for just a week. Maybe you'll start each day with a positive affirmation or spend a minute doing mirror work before bed. Whatever you choose, give it a real try. Remember, you're not aiming for perfection here. There will be days when it's harder, when you don't feel like doing it, or when you don't see immediate results. That's okay. The important thing is to keep coming back to the practice, to keep choosing positivity and self-love, even when it's challenging. And be patient with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and every small step counts. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Every positive thought, every moment of self-love, every act of forgiveness is a step towards the life you want to create. As we wrap up this journey through Louise Hay's wisdom, I hope you're feeling inspired and empowered. We've covered a lot of ground, from the power of positive thinking to the importance of forgiveness and everything in between. Louise Hay's teachings aren't just feel-good ideas. They're practical tools for transformation. They have the power to change how you think, how you feel, and ultimately, how you live your life. But remember, this power is in your hands. These principles only work if you put them into practice. So I encourage you to take what you've learned today and apply it in your life. Start with small steps. Be patient with yourself. And most importantly, be consistent. Even if you only spend a few minutes each day on these practices, doing them regularly can lead to significant changes over time. Remember, as Louise Hay often said, you have the power to heal your life. Your thoughts create your reality, and you have the power to choose your thoughts. With these tools, you can start creating the life you truly want, one positive thought at a time. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Louise Hay's wisdom. I hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Now, it's your turn. Take these ideas, make them your own, and see how they can transform your life. You have everything you need within you. Believe in yourself, love yourself, and watch how your life can change.